I know a lot of times we get online, we scroll through Instagram, we search Google, we look in Pinterest, wherever, and we're looking for makeup looks, eyeshadow tutorials, and a lot of the times what I find anyway is very intricate, very beautiful, artistic eyeshadow looks. These looks are normally done by someone that has a lot of experience and really knows how to apply their eyeshadow. And then I started thinking, what about the people that are just beginning? What about the people that don't know where to place the eyeshadow, how to blend the eyeshadow? Where is their starting point? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to do a very natural, easy, pretty look. And I'm going to try to give you a look that anybody can wear. First, let me just start off by saying that everybody's eyes are shaped differently. So what you see on one person, you may have to tweak it a little bit for your eye shape. Whenever you see someone doing their makeup and you think, okay, they've put the eyeshadow in their crease and they've taken it up this far. Well, this far on your eye could be all the way to the eyebrow. So basically, I'm going to try to give you a look today that will work for just about anybody. And just remember, it's just makeup. If it doesn't work out the first time, wash it off, start again. The more that you do something, the better that you will get at it. But I'm going to try to break it down for you so that you can get what I'm saying and learn how to do a good makeup look right away. The first thing that I like to do whenever I am, starting my makeup, sometimes I do my eyeshadow first. So if I'm doing a very bold, dark color and I know there's going to be some fallout, I don't even touch my foundation. I don't do any of my face makeup until I get my eyes like I want them. But then there's other times where I like my foundation, I like my eyebrows and stuff to already be done, and then just add, my eyeshadow onto it, and that's what we're going to do today. So I've already put my foundation and powder on. I've already put some lip gloss on and some bronzer and blush, but I haven't really done much to my eye. The first thing that you want to do is prime your eyelid. And the reason that you want to do that, for one, it will help your eyeshadow stay on longer. For two, it will give you an even base. So you can use foundation, an actual eyeshadow primer like a MAC paint pot. You can use concealer, whatever you need. You just want a blank canvas. Now, just starting out, I would recommend, and I know you see a lot of maybe YouTubers or beauty influencers telling you, leave your base sticky, it will help the eyeshadow to grab and blah, blah, blah. But I think for a beginner, it's better once you lay down your foundation or your concealer or whatever, to go ahead and add a little bit of powder on, because it's going to make it more smooth. It's going to allow you to blend out your eyeshadows easily. So I think for a beginner, that is important. One of the first things that I want to talk to you about is your eye crease. So whenever you're looking into a mirror, if you will drop your head just a little bit and look up, you will see the fold of the eye. This is what they call the crease. And sometimes if you're doing your eyeshadow with your eye closed at all times, you can't see exactly where your crease is. So sometimes it's important to maybe open your eye and then close your eye a little and open, just to see where you're laying the eyeshadow. The reason the crease is so important is because every eye look will tell you to place, whatever color below the crease, which is on the lid or in the crease, and that's usually where you put your deeper colors, or above the crease. And so knowing where your crease is very important. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do, and I'm going to show you what palette I'm going to start off with, is this Morphe Artistry palette, this Boss Mood palette. It has a lot of colors that you can work with. It's got a lot of shimmer colors. It has a lot of matte colors. But the one that I want to take your attention to is this one up here, and it's more of a champagne color. With a champagne color, especially if it has a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a glitter, what you can do is lay that completely all over the lid, get you a nice smooth base to blend your other colors on, and this will also leave highlights where you don't place the colors, so you don't have to go back in and do that later. Just a little tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little dense brush like this, and I'm going to pick up this color right here. Can you see that it's got a little bit of a shift in it? So if I don't want to go back later and add highlights to certain parts of my eye, I can lay it down first, just get it out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down all over. I'm going to lay it all the way from my eyebrow out to the edge of my eyebrow, and then bring it down towards my lid in the crease even, just because I want a smooth surface to work with. Just like that. And because I'll do the same thing on the other eye, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so you can see I've laid both of those colors all over my eye from the bottom of my brow all the way down onto my lid, and they've got a little bit of a shift. And even if you wanted to, you could let that brush go ahead and hit you a little bit in the corner. Go ahead and take care of that inner corner highlight. Next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to grab the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now this part is important, and I'm going to tell you why. Now the Jaclyn Hill palette, which is very loved, much loved, has a lot of neutral tones, some shimmers, some darker tones, so it's really an easy palette to use. But you can also use, let's say, this drugstore, this NYX Smoky Eye palette. It also has a color story. Let me just show you and pop out this little applicator. But in here it has the light color that you would lay all over. It would have maybe this transition color or this transition color, either one. It's got a blue color and then black, and even a black shimmer shade here. So it really doesn't matter the palette that you use, as long as you have a color story, colors that, you know, look good together. Our next step would be to lay down a transition color. So transition colors don't always have to be light browns, beiges. I know everybody seems to do that, but a transition color is just a color that helps you blend your other colors into. So it's not going to be as light as what you laid down at the top. It's going to be the next lightest shade. So you have this really light color. So the next color that I'm going to grab, so I'm just going to grab a blending brush like this. It's not too soft, it's not too firm. It's kind of in between, but it's more of a dense, fluffy brush. And to be honest with you, I could do this entire look with maybe 1 to 3 brushes. If I had to, I could do it with 1. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this color right here and this color right here, and I'm going to take these two colors. And the reason I'm grabbing these two colors is because I'm going to do a more brown, earthy, natural look. And so light browns make sense. So I'm going to grab these. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about is how you lay your eyeshadow down will make a difference. If you lay down your eyeshadow and you say the transition shade, which is normally above the crease, so we're going to go above the crease, but we're not going to go all the way up to our eyebrow. Don't pay attention to when someone's adding eyeshadow to their eye, how far they go up. Pay attention to your eye. So above the crease, but not all the way to the brow. And if we start out here and we do like an angle from up here and we bring it, you know, down into here, we're going to have a more pulled up look. But if I start down here at the very end of my eyelid here and I do a more rounded look, then it's going to give us more of a dull, open eye, innocent look. So I guess it just depends on what you want your eyeshadow to look like. So for me, because my eyelids do come down a little bit, I want to bring my transition color about right here and do more of a lifted transition. So what I'm going to do is I've dipped into those two colors, and I'm going to start placing them at an angle from the outer side of my lid up to where I want my eyeshadows to stop. And then I'm going to start swirling them, or you know, you can even do windshield wiper, but you're not going to want to take it all the way to your brow. And so what we'll do is stay a little bit below the brow but above the crease, and we're just going to add that color in. Now if you notice, what I did is I went up and now I'm bringing it down, because your eye has a wave to it, and so you want to just take it from right above the crease and you can take it into the inner corner, but I'm going to just take it straight across and slightly down. And if you notice, I'm holding my brush very close to the bottom of the brush. And that gives you less control, but it also gives you a lighter touch. So it really helps you to blend as you go. If I hold it very close up here, it's going to be very harsh. That's what I would use to like really pack in a darker color into the crease. But since we want it to be soft and pretty, we're going to hold it down here towards the end. And we're just going to blend that all the way around. You see I've left all of this open. And even bring it a little bit into the inner corner. Okay, so our next step would be going to a deeper color. So I would say maybe not the darkest brown that you're going to use or the darkest color that you're going to use, but the next to darkest. So what I'm going to do is look in here, and I use these two light colors up here, and then I start looking down and I see, okay, this one here is a little bit darker, and you want it to be matte at this point. You really don't want to add anything with shimmer yet. So I think what I will do is maybe go into this brown here. Now, where I'm going to place this is not as high as I did the transition color, but not just in the crease. So it's going to be from the crease and maybe up to here, still leaving a lighter gradient up here. So that's what I'm going to do. And I always like to start here, especially if I'm doing this cat-eyed look. And I pull it up, not all the way up to where that transition color ended, but I am going into the transition color a bit. And I'm just going to pull that through the crease and just right above the crease, doing the same thing that I did with the transition, just a little lower. So now you can see I have a little bit of a darker look and then a little bit of a lighter look. And if you feel like a little bit of the lighter look and the darker look are not blending, go ahead and wipe off your brush gently. Go back into the transition shade, and where the transition shade and the darker shade meet, just go little circle motions and just blend those together. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the darker shade. And I know this is where a lot of people maybe get a little nervous or what have you, but it's just makeup. It washes off and you can start over. You can take a wipe it off. This is why sometimes you want to do your eyeshadow before you do your foundation, just in case. So what I'm going to do is grab a brush like this that is fluffy, but it's very dense, a lot of bristles, very packed. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab a little bit of a darker brown, and I'm going to not go into the deepest browns. I'm going to go to the one right above that, so right here. And what I'm going to do is move my hand up my brush a little bit, about midway or a little above midway, and I'm going to start packing the dark color on. And the dark color will go into the crease. So when you bend your head down and look up, where you see that fold, that is your crease. And a little may get barely above it or barely below it. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, it gives you a better gradient if it fades out a little. So I'm just going to dip into that. And I'm going to start placing it still at the same angle, taking it up to the crease, dipping in more if you need to, and just follow your crease. And sometimes you can even punch it in and lay down the color and worry about blending it when you've got the color where you want it to be. And so even though a little bit of your dark has faded or went up into the color below the transition and above your crease, that's okay, because it's all going to blend together. You can't do this wrong. And you just do a little bit at a time and a little bit at a time and just build your colors and add your colors. You will be fine. So what I'm going to do now is grab my brush that I used on the transition color and the color below that, and I'm actually going to go in and grab not the transition color, which was these two, but I'm going to go into these here, and I'm going to grab these, and I'm going to go to where the dark ends and that color is still showing, and just do little swirls just to blend the dark. And you can pull it down into your crease a little and go back above the crease a little, which will pull a little bit of the dark into the lighter and the little lighter into the darker, and that's how you blend them together. And just do little swirling motions, holding your brush towards the bottom, just like that. And I can still see a little bit of a difference. So what I will do is, even using this fluffier brush, I'm going to grab a little bit of the darker. So I'm just going to take it and do little circles just to blend the darker and the lighter together. Now this is a very pretty look. If you threw a little bit of eyeliner on, you can spend more time blending, you know, whatever you want to do, but this is a very pretty, easy look. And once you throw your eyeliner on, your mascara or lashes on, whatever you choose, it's going to look beautiful. So this is the natural look. Now I'm going to go and put on eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've added my mascara and a little wing eyeliner on. One thing I did want to mention was you also can take more of a little dome brush, and I'll show you what that looks like. Just like this. I have this IT Cosmetics brush, and one side is very fluffy, the other side is a dome brush. It looks like this, or a pencil brush like some call it. But what you can do is go into the same palette that you were using before, dropping stuff here, and grab, what I like to do is grab the darkest color that I want to put under my eye, and so I might do a little bit of this one, maybe just a touch of that, and I'm just going to take it under my eyelashes to give me a little depth, and I'm going to place that, and I'm going to place that right up next to my eyelashes. Now I haven't put my mascara on the bottom lashes yet. I wanted to show you this part. And so I'm going to connect it out here, about where my wing starts, and just really tuck it in at the lashes. And then I'll go in with a little bit of a lighter color, one of the lighter colors, and I will run that where the darker color stops, but I don't want to bring it down too low because I like a nice, clean, pretty look. You don't have to do too much work to that. Just run, you can run one color under the eye. You don't have to put anything under the eye. You can just add a little bottom mascara. But I just wanted to show you that part. You can just take the same colors you used on the top and place them on the bottom, and you're good to go. So now I'm going to go and put my mascara on, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see I've done a very easy, beautiful, soft, natural look with earthy tones, browns, champagne colors, what have you. And one way you can kind of pop that up just a little bit is if you grab a little bit of a dome brush. If you feel like you want a little bit more pop, maybe under the brow or in the corner of the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my BH Cosmetics, which is also very loved, the Zodiac palette, and I love this highlight. And so the highlight in here is a very crystal color with maybe a little bit of a green shift, but not very green. And so I'm just going to touch in there with this little, can you see that? Little dome brush. I'm just going to reach in there and just dab it in. And then I'm going to just go right below my brow, right where the highest part of my brow is. And I'm going to go right below there, and I'm just going to start barely touching that in just to give it a little shimmer, and then pull the rest out to the end of the brow and maybe a little towards the inner, just like that. And then I will do the same thing to the inner corner. And basically what you do is you just, right here where your tear duct is, Just tap it in there. Maybe run it a little bit at the very bottom of your lashes. And then you have this beautiful inner corner highlight. So now what we're going to do is we are going to move on to a colorful look. And I'm going to do it in the same way that I did this one, just with different colors. Okay guys, so you can see I've added my eyeliner on and my mascara. And I've got two completely different looks, but they're basically done the same way, just placing different colors in the same places. One tip that I would give you is never compare yourself to someone else. Take tips from this one and that one as you can, but make it your own. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different style. Everyone has different shaped faces and eyes and everything. So do what makes you feel beautiful. But you can take a tip maybe from me and take a tip from somebody else and come up with a beautiful eye look just for you. Until the next time, I want you guys to see the beauty in yourself and each other. Bye. What about the ones that need a starting point? But what about the beginners? What about the people that have no starting point? For beginners, a makeup tutorial for beginners. So I know as for me, I will spend a lot of time. Sit down, dogs. Like, go lay down. Okay. So if you want to do this with me, let's go. So if you want to go, oh God, I can't talk today. Okay. So if you want to do this with me, just keep watching. Or not. Why does my nose look like that? There's something reflective in my nose hole. If you want to do that, let's get to it. So what about the people that need a starting point? The people that don't know how to apply makeup. They need some... It's so easy that anybody can do it. So if you're...